In an age of advanced warning systems, how is it possible that people still die in tornadoes? I mean, think about it. We have the technology to forecast these storms and the communication tools to warn the masses, yet there are a few who find themselves in harm's way. How is it possible that there's still a confusion between a tornado warning and a tornado watch? Or that 3 of the best storm chasers in the world end up getting killed in a tornado right here in Moore, Oklahoma? I've been chasing storms since I was old enough to drive. But as a kid, I never thought about any of these ethical quandaries I just mentioned. I just remember looking out the window in class looking at these beautiful Leviathan cumulonimbus clouds just rising in the atmosphere. I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I knew it was magical. And that magic continued into adulthood. As an adult, I'm currently a storm spotter for the National Weather Service through their Skywarn program. And I just love the storm chasing community. I found a group of people who are just as wild and crazy about weather as I am. But like any community, there is a dichotomy. You see, down one path, you have your proactive chasers. These could be scientists trying to develop and learn more about these storms and release probes into the atmosphere to get a better understanding, to save lives. You also have people trying to document these storms for historical records. They're also trying to showcase it to the news, to warn the media and other nations and counties around them what's really going on. You also have the reactive chasers. Now, reactive chasers are out there probably for different reasons. Some of these could be adrenaline rush. They're very excited. Some of them might know or not know what they're looking for. Sometimes if they do know what they're looking for and they want to get the best shot of a tornado, they might run through residential neighborhoods, breaking many traffic laws, running through stop signs, not only putting themselves but others in danger. I'm trying to connect the lines between safety and curiosity today because that line is blurred. Hopefully, these 3 factors I'm about to mention will make that line more defined. The first one is education. With education, the simplest form to do is to take a storm spotting class with the National Weather Service. It's only a couple hours long, offered once a year, usually in the late winter months, so right before storm season really kicks into full gear. And the great thing nowadays is most of these classes are offered online. The great thing about this is it helps bring your education a little more forward to where when the meteorologist is speaking on TV, you might know a little more what they're talking about. Sometimes you hear words like low pressure, high pressure, mesocyclone. What does this mean? I won't get into that today, but taking these courses really helps you develop what's happening, especially if you watch the local news. These meteorologists are in your living room every night. Secondly, I like to point out situational awareness. With situational awareness, it really increases what's going to happen in the direction of a storm compared to the radar. So if you're the type of person who drives north for a number of minutes and realizes you should have been going south, storm chasing might not be for you. However, let me tell you a case where my situational awareness was lacking. In my hometown of Pittsburgh, Kansas, I was driving around looking for some severe weather that was predicted to come later on in the afternoon. As the afternoon waxed forward, I realized I wasn't paying as much attention to the radar as I thought. Before I knew it, I looked up at the dark sky and there was rotation above me. I wasn't sure what this was specifically, if it was going to drop a tornado, a downburst, a microburst, or just straight line winds coming my way. I got in my car, started driving down these back roads at unsafe speeds. The only area I could find for kind of shelter was a parking lot at a Christmas tree farm that was closed for the season. As soon as I put my car into park, that's when the rain, large hail, and wind began to shake my vehicle. I was terrified. What felt like forever, but was probably 1 or 2 minutes, startled me. I wasn't thinking about checking the wind speed or having dash cams on my car. I was thinking about, I hope I get through this. After a minute or two, Things calmed, the rain, hail, and wind left. Looking down the road as I left the parking lot, I could see a number of trees and power lines down. I could see branches blown off, rooftops destroyed. I thought to myself, if I kept going down that road, something could have landed on me, or much worse, I could have been drugged into the ditch or flipped in my vehicle. Well, some people are lucky, some people are not in those situations. From then on out, I decided if I'm going to be chasing, I need to be out there for a purpose, which leads me to my third point, purpose. On May 31st, 2013, the TwistX team came into Moore, Oklahoma. They were studying lightning research initially. That team was made up of Carl Young, meteorologist, as well as Tim Samaras and his son Paul Samaras. If you ask anyone who the safest meteorologist was, at the top of their list would probably be Tim Samaras. Tim was well known in the storm chasing community, even had a show on the Discovery Channel called Storm Chasers. As the day moved forward, this storm turned tornadic. Tim wanted to get closer, and for good reason, to save lives. He was going to release pressure probes into this storm to get a better understanding of what's happening on the ground area. Because as he said, that's where the cars, buildings, and people are. As he got closer and closer, the storm grew in strength, but it also changed in direction. By 6:23 p.m., this tornado was 2.6 miles wide, with winds nearing 300 miles per hour. And with the change in direction, 20 people in Moore, Oklahoma ended up dying that day, including the 3 of the TwistX team. So that goes to show us that even with all the purpose, situational awareness, and education, we can still be caught off guard. Alex Honnold, extreme mountain climber, once said, if you climb a mountain and you make it to the top, an especially dangerous one, that people will say you're a hero and you're brave, and they'll put you on magazine covers. But if you fall and injure yourself or die, people say you're a fool, or you're promoting an activity that you shouldn't be doing. He says it's not a win-win situation, but you should climb anyway. I say the same thing with storm chasing. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's scary, but with the right education, situational awareness, and purpose, you could have a fruitful and fulfilling life. Thank you very much.